all sound pretty good tonight. As we approach the High Holy Days and contemplate the challenging reality and deep tensions and suffering in Israel and Gaza, we have the opportunity tonight to hear from two individuals, one Jewish and one Israeli Arab, who are working together on the ground in Israel to build a peaceful, safe, and stronger shared society between Jews and Israeli Arabs. Certainly, with so much violence, hatred, and intolerance, the need for this work has never been greater. In our Torah portion this week, Parshat Nitzavim, we read about the power of standing up, of standing together, and of building an inclusive society in which everyone is counted and included. What I really appreciate about the work that the New Israel Fund does, which is sponsoring tonight's program, is that they really are working on the ground in Israel to support and strengthen organizations like the one we're going to learn about tonight, who are doing the real work of trying to forge a path forward in which Jews and Arabs and Palestinians can find ways to work together and model pathways for peace, partnership, and a shared civil society. I see this as the kind of work that is deeply rooted in the very best of Israel's Jewish values and in the ideals set forth in Israel's Declaration of Independence, to build an inclusive democracy and a Jewish state guided by the highest ideals of Jewish tradition. It's my honor this evening to welcome our guest speakers tonight, Cher Albaz, the chair of AJEEC, and Dr. Ilan Amit, their co-CEO, from the New Israel Fund grantee. The AJEEC stands for the Arab Jewish Center for Empowerment, Equality, and Cooperation, the Negev Institute for Strategies of Peace and Economic Development. And I also learned when I was talking to Cher and Ilan earlier this week that AJEEC means I come toward you in Arabic. This is a really incredible organization that was founded originally down in the south of Israel in the Negev around 2000 by Vivian Silver of blessed memory, who was the Jewish peacenik who was killed on October 7th, and in partnership with Dr. Amal Elsana Al-Khajouj down in the Negev. I want to make a special mention. I mentioned the New Israel Fund. Unfortunately, their wonderful staffer, Orly Bine, can't be here tonight, but I think her parents are here somewhere. There they are. And we also have, representing the New Israel Fund, our member Karen Kronik and Louis Newman, who's here. So if you guys could give a wave, if you have questions about AJEEC or about the work of the New Israel Fund, you could talk to them after our service as well. So it's a pleasure to welcome Cher and Ilan up to our bima this evening. So we're going to do this as sort of a conversation, but so first, welcome. Wonderful to have you here. I know you were in Los Angeles earlier this week. You drove up? Yes. How was the drive?
Long and nice.
Did you take the coastal route or the 5? The cows. All right, lots of cows. So wonderful. You made it here. I was wondering, just to begin, I'd love to have you introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your role at AJEEC, and also, if you want to share a little bit about how you found your way into this work as well.
So first of all, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for having us. I'm Ilan Amit. I'm AJEEC's co-CEO. I joined AJEEC at the beginning of 2009, where the late Vivian Silver was my first Jewish director. I live in Jerusalem these days, but I was born and raised in the Negev, lived in the Negev all my life, and I would also share that my children attend a bilingual school, a Jewish Arab school in Jerusalem. So for me, shared society and Arab Jewish work is a way of life.
My name is Cher Albaz. I live in a Bedouin town just 10 kilometers east of Beersheba. And I thought standing here is something easy, but your job is a very tough one. I'm so glad to be here with you, and the ceremony is great. Obviously, I don't do every Kabbalat Shabbat every week. Sure. So being here tonight is very exciting for me. And I think it's part of our vision of creating a shared space where everybody has the right to do and think and believe whatever they want without being, threatened. And that's why we're here. We are seeking to get to know people. And AJEEC, as you said, the meaning of the word AJEEC, I come towards you, and that's our philosophy, is we seek ways to get to know the other and to do for the common good. And AJEEC is trying to get both communities, the Jewish and the Arab communities, to work together, because we believe that together we are stronger. And if we go against one against the other, we are weaker, and the results are, of course, bad. So we are seeking every opportunity to get people together to work for the common good. That was our mission since we were established by late Vivian Silver and Amal Hassana. On October the 7th, I woke up like any other Israeli hearing of these bad news. We never thought it's that bad. So the first thing that I did, I knew that Vivian lives just nearby the border, so I started texting her and asking how is she doing. And she actually wrote to me that things are bad, and she's in shelter. The only thing that I could have done at that point of time is to say, don't go out and take care of yourself. And she unfortunately never read that message. She was killed that morning, but we didn't know that she was killed that morning. We knew about 40 days afterwards. And during the 40 days, a group of Vivian's friends, including myself, formed some sort of a group of people to look for ways of getting in touch with people in Gaza and finding out more about her and bringing her back, because we thought that she was kidnapped. But unfortunately, she was killed, and for me personally, she left huge space. Vivian was the person that I called whenever I felt a need for an advice or support. And I think regardless of our religious background, people can relate, people can connect, and that's what we're trying to do in our organization.
And I'll only add that we've both worked with Vivian for many years, and she never allowed herself to compromise over her values of peace, equality, and the promotion of shared society in Israel. And after we discovered that Vivian was killed in her house on October 7th, we decided to continue her vision and to promote her vision of peace and shared society in Israel, bringing Jews and Arabs together all over the country to a vision of peace and equality. And this is the vision that we are carrying today and here to share with you.
So speaking, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that shared society is not just something nice to have.
Right.
For us, it's a lot more than that. If we would like to live in dignity and acceptance in that part of the world, we would have to work together. So that's what we're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing for very selfish reasons, not just to look nice, but also to make sure that my sons, daughters, and grandsons and daughters feel and live in a peace, live in an environment that they will feel accepted and they would have hope for the future.
So with that in mind, I wonder if you guys could talk a little bit about some of the programs that you offer, maybe a little bit about what's unique about AJEEC's approach in particular as well.
So we've been working for the past 25 years to promote partnerships and shared society between Jews and Arabs in Israel through different programs that narrow gaps in access to higher education and quality employment for Israel's Arab minority, the 21%. Every fifth person in Israel is an Arab, most of them Muslim citizens. We run a great variety of gap year programs for Arab youth and young adults, after-school programs and informal education programs. And AJEEC also has the only Arab youth organization in Israel with over 10,000 program participants all over the country in over 30 Arab local authorities. We use all these programs as our infrastructure, as our basis for Arab-Jewish dialogue programs, Arab-Jewish encounters, and shared society programming. And I also shared that since October 7th, I would say in opposed to what we assumed in the first few weeks of this horrific war that just refuses to end, in the first few weeks we thought it would be very hard to follow up on those programs. It would be very hard to bring together Jews and Arabs for dialogue, for encounters. But we've been actually seeing a growing number of schools, pre-military academies, academic courses, youth movements that are coming to us and asking us to join dialogue programs and encounters with Arab citizens of Israel out of interest and out of the understanding that, you know, this is a very low point in Israel's history. We've never been so divided. We've been demonstrating one against the other. We've never seen such period of divided opinions in Israel, and I think that a lot of the academic institutions and schools and educational programs that we've been working with have understood that something has to be done in order to narrow those gaps within Israeli society, and they see us as a starting point for that dialogue.
There is a lot of hope. I mean, while talking with people here, I mean, we hear a lot of despair and sometimes fear, and the picture is very black. But we know we are there. I think the American term is boots on the ground.
Yep.
We are there and we do the work, and we know that there's a lot of hope that we need to nourish and grow. There's a lot of things that can be done together, and I think, despite what Ilan just said, that this is the worst of times, I think in the worst of times, there's a more need for our work. There are more need for getting together and doing for the common future. And I'm not just saying that because it's a nice thing to say. This is not an existing mechanism.
It's an existential. We've been talking about this.
I mean, we cannot continue without finding the ways of working together.
Yeah. When we were talking earlier this week, you mentioned that you've trained, it was over 10,000 leaders in some of your, will you say a little bit more? Because the number was really, I mean, Israel's a small country. That's a lot of leaders.
We strongly believe in leadership development, and we strongly believe in leadership development through example, through doing the thing itself in the field. For the past 20 years, we've been working very closely together with the Scouts, the Jewish Scouts in Israel, running joint Arab-Jewish gap year programs within the hardest places in Israeli society, the Bedouin unrecognized villages, the mixed Arab-Jewish cities such as Lod and Ramle. And those young adults who go through our gap year programs become leaders in their own communities. And they serve as an example for the schools, the pre-military academies, their villages and towns. They become an example for how Jews and Arabs can continue to work together in the hardest of times. And we're expanding those programs since October 7th, exactly because of the reasons we've been talking about here. At such a low point, we have to fight back, and fight back for the sake of partnership, peace, and equality. And we have to be able to imagine a better future than the one that than the situation that we are in now.
And maybe just to say a little bit more about this, I live in Tel Sheva, which is, as I said, 10 kilometers, that's 7 miles, 6 miles, whatever,
like that.
East of Beersheba. And some of the young people there may meet the Jewish, when they go to university or college for the first time, or go to work after the age of 18. The majority of young people don't even speak the language. And the geographical distance is so short. So what we're trying to do is to open the doors for the two communities, not just to know each other, but also to know how to communicate with each other by teaching Hebrew as the language that you use on a daily basis, by giving them the life skills that they need to be able to integrate into the system. The differences between the generations where we live is huge, and we need to bridge these differences in order to create this shared society.
Beautiful. Kind of ending maybe on a question of hope. I mean, when you close your eyes and picture the future that you're trying to build, what does it look like? Where do you find hope? What is the kind of the vision for the future for each of you?
First of all, with all the Israelis, Jews and Arabs who are kidnapped in Gaza back in their homes with their families, first of all, this is a vision for the future. With the war behind us, with the kidnapped Israelis back in their homes with their families, and with the Israeli society returning to work and live and imagine as one, and not as different groups fighting and demonstrating against each other. We imagine a future of peace and equality for Israel, for Gaza, for Israel's Arab citizens, in the vision of the people who are not here with us today, who've lost their lives on October 7th. We imagine a more just and calm future for Israel, hoping that those have been the 7 bad years and that the 7 good years are ahead of us.
Not much to add, but just to say that my parents called me khair, which means in Arabic good. That's a huge expectation. So I think my role in life is to do as much good as possible for the younger generation to have some sort of hope for the future. Young generation with no feeling of hope, it's a very risky and dangerous thing. So we need to do our utmost in creating as much good as possible by, encouraging both communities to work together to create this good and hope for the future.
I love that you've created this beautiful image, this beautiful model for how folks with serious difference in how they view the world and how they understand each other are coming together. I wonder if there's, as you've kind of traveled around the States, if there, what might we American Jews learn from your model and kind of some of the fundamental elements of how to talk? Because there's some I don't know if you've heard, but there's some disagreement in American political society as well around Israel for sure, but also certainly in American politics as well. But what are some of the I don't know, maybe the skills or the tools that you kind of lean on?
How long do we have?
Yeah, okay. Right, it's not a simple solution to a complex problem, right?
Yeah. I think we're slowly finding ourselves in a very similar situation here and there. We're beginning to feel as a minority within the Jewish state. And I'm saying that as a Jewish Israeli. I'm starting to feel as a minority within my own country. With my liberal values, with my aspiration for hope and peace and partnership between both sides of the border and the ending of the war, me and my family, we're starting to feel as if the state has been taking further and further, has been taking more and more steps away from those values, Jewish values of peace. And we're beginning to feel like a minority in our own country, especially within our field of work, Arab-Jewish partnership. And from what we've been hearing about what is happening in the past year here in the U.S., I think that we're both developing here and in Israel and here in the U.S., waking up to a reality where we are more and more becoming a minority in our own countries, whether we choose that or not.
And maybe just to say that as a member of the minority of the minority of the minority in Israel, I mean, the Bedouin community is about 300,000 people in Israel. That's it. I think we need to move from being, the feeling, the notion that I'm right and you are wrong all the time, to maybe we are both right and we can dialogue and share. And that's something that's a process. It's not a one-time thing. Right. So moving from feeling that it's me to maybe us, that takes some time. One of the major problems that we feel as minority in Israel, and I think the same thing here, is that we have this sense that we are ignored, and we are sometimes a burden on the system, as a minority. And I think that's a very bad feeling. It's mainly for the younger generation. So I think we need to train ourselves to move from that to the being together and maybe doing together and to creating a better world.
Amen. Yeah. Well, so wonderful to have you both here. I know hopefully you can stick around for a few minutes, get some cookies at the Oneg after services, and maybe answer a couple of questions.
Just to add one thing. I mean, AJEEC-NISPED, for most people didn't hear the name of the organization, don't know much about it. AJEEC, as a matter of fact, is the largest civil society organization in Israel right now, and the largest in the Arab society in Israel. So it's a very large organization with about 200 employees and thousands of people who are actually enjoying our activities. And it talked about hope. Right. It's enough to enter the headquarters in Beersheba and see the mix of people working together. And we are hoping that this microcosmos will become once a macrocosmos in Israel. It's beautiful to see all the people coming from all the different backgrounds and doing together for the common good. So thank you for the...
No, thank you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Yeah,
I mean, as Leonard Cohen said, you know, there's a crack in everything, and that's where the light gets in. So you all are the crack that hopefully will continue to just bring light into Israeli society. So thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for being here,
Thank you.
sharing your work with all of us, and
you
Shabbat
so much,
Shalom.
Ray.
Thank you so
Shabbat
much.
Shalom.
Tודה.